Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We got some updates. We got the engine back. We put it in the car, so let's go through it. So it's all installed. Let's go back and show you guys a bit the assembly. I have a little time warp that we can show you how we put the flywheel, the trans on, we put the engine in. Let me show that now. So after all that, we got the engine in, and I'm very pleased. Big thanks to Alex and Karam, my two friends, for helping me. It's kind of hard to do it by yourself, but we got that in. I mean, you do it so many times, you end up getting used to it. But it's looking good so far. I love these valve covers. Big thanks to Platinum Racing Products and Hypertune. They did an amazing job. For those who don't know what RSR means, Ryan Samet Racing, my name and my last name, and we put the little Canadian flag there as a little touch. You know, after all, we're Canadian. Beautiful. I love the red. And in the sun, it changes color. It's pretty cool. In the dark, it's dark, and when you shine light on it, it brightens up. It's anodized aluminum. We got the catch can in the back. They join into one fitting down there. You can't really see it. This is the other one that goes from the block, AN20. Huge fitting there. We powder coated the turbo black. We're going for pretty cool colors on this car. You'll get to see the intake soon. This is going to be gold, so we're going to have red, gold, and then the intake you've probably seen it on Instagram. I'll post I'll link a picture here, but you're going to have red, gold, the rails are gold, and the plenum is red. You'll see the new intake. Hopefully it comes on Wednesday. We have to figure out where we're gonna put these IGN coils. I got this hose coming out the middle here that's always in the way, so either it goes something like that, which I don't know if I like. I might put it somewhere on the side here, kind of like that. I know it's not symmetrical, but it's easier to use when you're replacing the plugs. I mean, we check the plugs all the time on this car. Like you do a pass, ideally you want to take the plugs out and check them. So I don't know yet where we're gonna put those, but I made this little bracket myself. Nothing special, just 1/4" aluminum. But, the CO2 valves, I gotta plumb the wastegates. I haven't put the wastegates on yet. I gotta put the exhaust back pressure sensor there, the gates. I gotta plumb the, sorry, I gotta wire up the EGTs. Gotta put plugs in the car. Before I put plugs, I want to crank it over, prime it, crank it over, and check timing with a timing light, just to make sure that the ECU is synced. We got the new fuel hose. I know it's already a clusterfuck of hoses over here, but I mean, what are you gonna do? The new fuel hoses. So I'll explain a little bit the fuel system. So this is a 6-gallon tank. It's got a little vent over here that I can block. So you got a vent there. That big AN16 is a feed that goes to here. It's almost as high as the tank, just a little bit lower, but that's the feed AN16. That's the outlet. That's gonna go to this here. This fitting here comes from the Bosch 044 that's down there. So the Bosch 044 gets a feed from the tank down there, and what that does, that primes the system. So the Motec, you can tell it what pressure you want a primer, the prime to run. So we can, you know, I said 30 psi fuel pressure. So what it does, it fills this line, it fills the rail, fills everything with fuel. So when you go crank it over, it just fires up. But yeah, so you got a 12 feed. This Bosch 044 fills everything up. We got a 4 Innovations 128 millimeter filter. Peterson Y that goes into 210s. Then it splits into these two. These are gonna go feed the rail on the side and feeds the fuel here. These two are the return that go to either side of the regulator. This is a Weldon 22047 is the big boy Weldon regulator. And the bottom of the regulator goes from here and returns back to the tank. So yeah, so that's the fuel system. The oil system, just for you guys who never seen it, this is the oil feed that goes to the oil filter relocator. Then there's gonna be another hose that goes here, and it splits into these two. So basically the engine takes 2 AN12 oil feeds to feed the oil to the engine. Yeah, this thing requires a lot of oil. So without a dry sump, it'll be very difficult to lubricate this engine, because the oil galleries are very thick and big on purpose. So yeah, I gotta put this back. So these are the coolant. So as you probably seen before, the Mazir pump feeds the head here, and then it feeds the blocks separate here. So the head enters the water from the front, and then it exits from the middle and exits from the back there. And then the block enters here, and then there's an outlet back there. I don't know if you see it with the dark. There's the outlet over there. And then there's another outlet there. So all those 4 AN10 hoses are going to go into one billet collector. Where is it? I don't know where I put it, but it's a fitting that all the AN4s, all the AN10s go into, and then this AN16 is going to return to the radiator, this little tiny CSF radiator. Hopefully it's enough. But yeah, I think it's looking good. I'll have to redo this because, as you've probably seen on Instagram, the intake manifold is the new Hypertune 18 injector drag manifold, and it's a front facing, so the intake is not going to be where it used to be over here. The throttle body is going to sit probably around here, so this will have to get redone. The nitrous I swapped from a dry shot to from a wet shot to a dry shot, so it's only nitrous. I blocked that hole there For those who don't know, a wet shot of nitrous is you're injecting nitrous and fuel at the same time. A dry shot, you're injecting only nitrous, and then the injectors will compensate for the fuel. But yeah, look at this thing. I think it looks great. So that's the new color combo: black, red, red, gold, gold, red, gold, red. So the intake will be here Wednesday. We'll do another video when that comes, because you guys gotta see this thing. Yeah, I'll do the gates tomorrow. I'll wire these push lock fittings. We tested the CO2. The CO2 system works. We'll prime the engine. We're gonna crank it over here, give it some oil, turn it over, test the timing, and Wednesday when the intake comes, we'll put it back on and fire it up, and that will be our next video. So yeah, pretty excited. I mean, we didn't lose much of the season. It's what, we're June, so hopefully the next race would be CSCS, which is June 28th, I think, 29. Anyway, that's the last weekend of June, and try to get to tune probably next week or the week after. But yeah, stay tuned. Take care.